For the longest time, if you were a brilliant scientist or an ambitious engineer, the United States was simply the place to be. It was the undisputed center of the universe for innovation. But that picture is starting to look a whole lot different. And look, this isn't some tiny little tweak. We're talking about a seismic shift in how the world's top talent thinks about America. It's a story that has it all: new rules, a very real human impact, and a fierce global race for the best and brightest minds. So let's dive in. So, what's driving all this? Well, it really boils down to a new rulebook for how the US picks and chooses skilled professionals from around the globe. The whole thing really revolves around something called the H-1B visa. Now, if you're not familiar with it, for decades, this has been the ticket for talented scientists, engineers, tech experts, you name it, to come work in the States. Okay, so what's the official logic behind the changes? On paper, the goal is pretty simple: to push companies to offer bigger paychecks. The thinking is that this will help attract the cream of the crop, the most experienced, high-skilled people out there. So, how does this new system actually play out in the real world? Well, you can think of it like a souped-up lottery. A company finds a candidate they want to hire and registers them. But here's the twist: the salary they're offered determines how many tickets they get in that lottery. And this right here, this is where the rubber meets the road. If you're a candidate offered a lower, entry-level kind of salary, you get just one shot, one ticket in the lottery. But someone offered a top-tier salary, bam, they get 4 entries. It's a system that is deliberately, and I mean explicitly, designed to stack the deck in favor of the highest earner. But these rules aren't just numbers on a spreadsheet. They're having a massive, real-world impact on people, on their lives, their careers, and it's creating this climate of serious uncertainty. Just let this number sink in for a second: 61%. A study out of Stanford found that 61% of scientists of Chinese descent working in the US have seriously thought about packing up and leaving. That's not just a statistic. That's a massive brain drain waiting to happen. And it goes even deeper than that. The same study found that nearly half, 45%, are now steering clear of federal research grants. Why? Because they're worried about the intense scrutiny that comes with it. So you see, this isn't just about an immigration status anymore. This is having a chilling effect on the very engine of American science. You can imagine the anxiety is off the charts for people who are just starting their careers. I mean, when this rule was being proposed, people were writing in, warning that this system would basically create what they called a de facto ban on new graduates. And it makes sense, right? New grads are naturally going to have lower starting salaries, giving them almost no shot in this new lottery. Now, none of this is happening in a bubble. While there's all this uncertainty in the US, you better believe other countries are watching. And they're not just watching, they are seizing this opportunity. What you end up with is this classic push-pull dynamic. On one hand, the policy changes and uncertainty in the US are pushing incredible talent out. And on the other hand, other nations are rolling out the red carpet, pulling them in with some really tempting offers. And we're not talking about vague promises here. These are concrete, aggressive strategies. Take Thailand, for example. They're offering a massive 17% tax break for their skilled professionals to return. Or look at the Philippines. They've got a program literally called the Return Scientist Program, designed specifically to lure their experts back home from abroad. So the big question is, what's the long-term play here for the United States? What does all this add up to? Well, when you start connecting the dots, you realize the stakes are incredibly high. It's not just us saying this. Experts and even people commenting on the government's own proposals are sounding the alarm. They're warning about some pretty serious risks: weakening scientific research, seeing a drop in technological innovation, losing our economic edge, and even creating national security risks if the US becomes a less attractive place for top STEM talent. I mean, listen to this quote from one of those public comments. It just hits the nail on the head. The point is, it is a huge loss for America when we educate a brilliant mind in one of our top universities, only to see them take all that knowledge, all those skills, and all their future innovations to another country. When you put all these pieces together, it really makes you step back and think, doesn't it? It forces you to reconsider the very idea of opportunity in our modern, globalized world. The American dream, it was never really just about a piece of land. It was always about an idea. The possibility that no matter who you are or where you came from, you could build something amazing. It was about pure potential.
What's happening now, though, is that idea of possibility is going global. The opportunities that once felt so concentrated in one place, they're now spreading out all over the world.
And maybe that's the real bottom line here. In today's world where top talent can work from anywhere and competition is everywhere, success is no longer just about where you go, it's about where you are valued. So that leaves us with a huge, lingering question. As these tectonic plates of global talent continue to shift and new hotspots of opportunity pop up, where is the next great hub of innovation going to be? It's a question that is very much being written as we speak.